Today's action guide comes to you in two parts. The first part you're going to do later on today, and that's going to be going out and lowering the filter with someone that you speak to consistently. Or maybe not even someone that you speak to consistently, but someone that you know you were going to get in conversation with. So I always think of people, because I was going to lunch at the time when I learned this, and still this is where I meet the most strangers, when I would go out for lunch. Or even if you pack your own lunch to work or school, wherever you're going, there's typically people during that hour that you are seeing for the first time. Sometimes it's when you're leaving your apartment building. There's someone in the elevator. Sometimes it's someone in your office. Whoever it is, today's action guide is going to be to lower the filter with them and add simply one more sentence to conversation that you would have. So if your conversation with the receptionist every day is, "Hey, how's it going, Glenda? Good, Bob. How are you?" I want you to just lower the filter and say what comes out. It could be for you, "How was your weekend?" And if you normally ask about their weekend and they say it was good, for you it might be, "What did you do?" Or it might be telling them an actual story of what went on with you. It's adding one simple sentence. So right now, think of this person or think of a time of day where you're likely to encounter someone and you normally don't really get into conversation. And what I want you to allow yourself to do, and just imagine this in your head, is adding one extra sentence. That's it. Lower the filter, see what comes out. You don't have to have a brilliant conversation, but this is an amazing first step. The second piece we are going to do right now, and this is something that I originally learned in improv comedy. This is word association. When you are going to tell a monologue, for instance, in improv comedy, oftentimes the audience will shout out a single word. And if you've seen improv comedy, this person will then go create an entire skit based on one word that is only kind of related. And so the first time I did this, I was amazed to see how it works, and it's basically like this. It's word association. So if somebody says tree, I say tree to you. What I want you to do, and I will do right now to demonstrate, is just to think of all the associations that you have with tree, and you'll just shout them back out, right? Or speak them back out to your camera. You don't have to shout at your computer or your phone. So if you say tree, I think of arbol, because that's my horrible English accent of the Spanish word for tree. When I think of the Spanish word for tree, I think of the time that I spent in Costa Rica. When I think of the time I spent in Costa Rica, I think of my friend who taught me how to dance. When I think of my friend who taught me how to dance, I think of salsa dancing and the fact that in Santa Monica, where I live, there's this outdoor salsa thing that they have every single Sunday. So now I've moved from tree to salsa dancing outside, completely unplanned. That is because I've started to build these lateral connections, and that allows me in conversation not to make those 4 jumps, but when somebody says tree, I can make 1 jump. And I go, this is totally random, but this reminds me, like Arbor Day reminds me of living in Spain because it's the same word, but whatever. And then I can tell a story based on that 1 leap. So this is a bigger thing. You don't have to do it today, but I want you to work on this word association. So right now, I'm going to say a handful of words, and you just allow yourself to move from one idea to the next idea to the next idea. And the connecting thing is reminds me of, and the goal is to lower the filter. It will remind you of something. If it doesn't remind you of anything, that's not true. Your filter is too high, and we're trying to take it down a bit. So I'm just going to come up with some random words right now, and you go a couple of links down the chain. I'll give you some time to do it, or you can pause. So the first word is going to be camera. Just allow yourself to link it to the next, to the next. Okay? If you need more time, you can pause this. The next word for you will be dog. Continue to link it. Hopefully you're realizing that it gets easier when you lower the filter and more interesting. If you're trying to keep it precise, oftentimes you narrow the range of things you can say. Allow yourself to go with whatever it reminds you of. Okay? We'll go with a verb for this next one. The next one is jump. Just allow yourself to link to something else, getting used to lowering this filter. And we'll do one more. For this one, allow yourself to just go as quickly as you can through it. Say whatever comes out. If it doesn't make sense, excellent. Because the point of this exercise isn't to make sense, it is to get that filter lowered and really experience how quickly and how spontaneous and clever you are when you get that filter down. So the next one will be styrofoam. Got it? So obviously, we're not going to go out and just go, oh, that reminds me of. That's not exactly what we're aiming for here. The goal of this is to give you an experience of what a lowered filtered sounds like and what it feels like internally. Are you going to be that free and loose in conversation? No, but like I said, we want to take it down and then build it back up. So go out, do that first piece of the action guide, say one extra sentence to a person that you speak to today. This would also be an amazing time if you would like to recommit to finishing this week in the comments. Those little commitments, especially if they're put out there publicly, can make a huge difference in follow through. So if you'd like to, I recommend that you do that in the comments below. And of course, you can share how today went. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.